The Object 268 is a very old, yet extremely popular Tier 10 tank destroyer in World of Tanks Blitz. While it's been in the game for a very long amount of time, it is still regarded as almost the Home Depot of the battlefield, where you kind of just use it whenever you need something done. You get it, you use it, it's fast, it can get the job done with its great alpha, good gun depression, fantastic mobility, it's kind of got everything going for it. But then, there's the Chinese knockoff, called the WZ-113G FT. Now this may be one of the ugliest tank destroyers in the game. However, looks aside, this almost gives a 268 a run for its money. A lot of people like to call the 113 GFT just a worse 268, and that's what they also like to call the Foch. However, this is not by any means remotely close to a 268 when it comes to being worse. The armor frontally is way better. While the 268 does have some pretty good armor going for it, I definitely wouldn't say it's very reliable. Any decent player knows that they can either shoot the track wheel, they can shoot the massive lower plate as it is a pike nose vehicle, or whenever it turns to the left or the right, just shoot it right there. Even premium shells butter through the 268. Fun fact, the 113 GFT using its gun depression is impossible to penetrate by tier 10 mediums, even if you're running calibrated. I cannot tell you how painful it's been sometimes when I play on like Dynasty's Pearl, and I physically cannot penetrate these 113 GFTs, so I actually just can't fight them. I just back up and I'm like, okay, I submit and deal with somebody else. That is just what this tank can do. Not only that, but it carries about the same power to weight ratio as an Object 268. It's not as fast, it goes 38 kilometers per hour instead of the 50, but it still has the same average top speed of around 35, which means that it can very easily get in the position using that good power to weight ratio. Its gun is great. It's the same as a 268 basically on all regards, except for one simple statistic, and that is a massive one. It's called reticle calibration. Now, reticle calibration is combined on my 5 key. There are not many vehicles I run this consumable on. In fact, this is the only tank that I run my consumable on, apart from, I think, maybe the 4005 I run it on, and I think that my Charioteer I run it, not Charioteer, the Chimera I run it on. Apart from that, there are no other tank destroyers. The Grill I don't run it on, but this vehicle I do. Because one of the things the 268 is notorious for is not really hitting great snapshots. You try and snap a shell, and it just goes right into the air. This vehicle, because you have reticle cali, turns what were potential hits to now basically confirmed hits. You're just about as accurate as a Hori. And because it lasts enough for 2 shells, it's even more deadly. So here we go. We got an enemy T-62A, gonna aim in a shell. Kaboom! Thank you very much for your hit points, good sir. And now we're gonna back up. So already into the beginning of this battle, we've done 643 damage. That's just where this tank is pretty good on that aspect. What else do we have on the enemy team? Well, they got 3 tank destroyers, and while I was live streaming, this battle was actually played live, I was complaining about how tank destroyers can basically halt an entire push, especially that bush that I was looking at over there. I was worried that there were going to be TDs looking there, so instead I pushed over here, got a nice shot into the side of the Kranvong. There you go, now we're sitting at 1200 damage. One of the nicest thing about tank destroyers is the massive alpha they do carry. There you go, one nice bounce. Now we're aiming it on the Object 260. I mean, it's an Object 260, so that's kind of cute. Its armor doesn't work at all. So there you go. Nice shot into him. And now we're at 1800 damage, but obviously there's plenty more damage to deal in this battlefield. We got the 62A, we got the Kranvong, and the 260. Now what I'm going to do right now is you're going to see me put on my reticle cali. My aiming circle goes from that to literally look at the size of my aiming circle. It is insane. That was 1 second of it being clicked on, and boom. 1156 damage into that Kron with an HE. I mean, that is insane. The ability to just absolutely wreck somebody's day because you're running reticle cali is stupid. And that is what it can do right there. So now we're going to aim it on the 62A. Again, I'm fully aimed in by the time I'm looking at him. So, yeah, I mean, reticle cali let me get 2 shells off there without even having to worry about my aiming circle. So now we're really sitting up there in damage. We're already at 3,500, but you'll notice that there's still 6 vehicles left on the enemy team. So, ooh mama, this is going to be one nice battle. Now, what's funny is that we were joking about the Object 260 being kind of a useless tank, so might as well ruin its day and take it out of the battlefield so we don't need to deal with it later. There you go, now we're at 4,438 damage. It's just such a nasty tank. Now we got the 183 off to the side. The Grill was not detected until it shot me, but I still wanted to clear this 183. So boom, easy shell into his turret, finishing him off. And now we got the Grill, we got the 62A, and a Hori left. The enemy team went from 6 vehicles down to 3. just like that. We clear 2 of them. So 62A bounces me. We've already sat at 1140 damage bounce this game. Now, I know that the sides of this vehicle aren't great. Even though they were buffed, I know that a grill, especially if it were to shoot heat, could probably overmatch them quite easily. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of chilling, making sure that I've got some bounce, but who cares? I got my skill anyway on, so I had an 800 damage shell into him. And yeah, now we're at 5,800 damage this battle. So that grill probably not enjoying my company all too much. Especially now that the Yo just tracked him, and now the Yo's just going to push. Yo finishes him off. Thank you. And now there's 2 vehicles left. We got a Hori and a 62A. Now, the 62A is way too far away to shoot, but because that Yo is going for him and I'm not detected, you're never going to guess what happens. Kaboom! Thank you very much, good sir. That is a 6,286 damage battle. Now, I don't think that you could argue the 268 could have done what I did in this game, because there's no way I would have ever hit that HE shell on the side of the Kranvong. That guy would have been alive, it would have halted my push, it would have stopped me. So already there, the 268 couldn't have done that. Now, the E3 does have reticle calibration, but the E3 is too slow to actually do things. The amount of time it would have taken me to reposition from the heavy side that I was at to the medium, it would have taken forever. The E3 also is slow. It would have really have done a great job trying to shoot that 183, dealing with the 62A. So again, the 113 GFT combines both the E3 and the 268 to become an incredibly powerful vehicle. And it's why that, even though it is an extremely ugly tank, literally just a box filled with maybe some presents inside that you can open up for Christmas, I don't know. Either way, it's not the prettiest tank, but looks do not matter in war. And the most important thing in war is how a tank performs. So, what I can tell you guys is I've told you many times before on my reviews for this vehicle, even when it first came out, I really like this tank. It is powerful, it's got a great gun, it's got almost the whole shebang going for it. There are no major weaknesses to this vehicle. Not only that, but you can run provisions and get sandbag armor. I've got my hit points up to 2016, which when you compare it again to a vehicle like an Object 268, that's at 1908. So I've got an extra 100 hit points as well. Sure, it's not going to make the biggest difference, but there will be battles when having that extra 100 hit points, either being in the range of a one-shot for a 150 millimeter or something else, can make a big difference. Not only that, but as well for the 113 GFT, if you really wanted to be tryhard, you can also run reactive armor, which means that 20% of the damage you receive is now going to be negated. So I think this tank is great, and I don't know why it has such a bad reputation. I said that in today's stream, and I'll continue saying that until people start to give this tank the recognition it deserves. But hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And other than that, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.